Okay.
And then I guess after the result of the blood to see, I guess, what was high, what was low, as far as my vitamins, and I believe what they talk about my hematocrit level, vitamins, if am I lacking in, I'm lacking in something, or I'm doing too much in a certain field, vitamin A, B, D, C, whatever. So I believe that's how, they figured out what I needed and what I didn't need.
And when you say they,
Victor Conti and the other guy.
The other guy. Okay. And by the way, you mentioned lunch. So does that help you now recall that it was not at night when you met?
Yeah, that's what I said in the morning time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. And then after you get your blood drawn, what had happened? You went back to, what'd you do?
I think that's what I said. After I got my blood drawn, then we went to lunch, right? That's when we went to lunch. So
he doesn't know what the answer is. So.
Yeah, but I just told him we went to lunch, and then he asked me again.
No, you're right. That's exactly right. And then after lunch?
After lunch, I believe he went and he went over. I guess he got the records. We had to wait to see, where my blood was at and everything.
All right.
And then I believe that's when he said what he can do for me, whatever.
I gotcha. Let me ask you. By the day of the grand jury in December 2003, or during the grand jury, you've now taken steroids, correct?
If you can answer that question based upon anything other than your attorney has told you, yes.
He's already answered the question. He said it earlier.
Okay, all right, that's fair. Yes, he did.
Earlier you said in response to one of
Actually, he didn't say that.
He did. He said he learned through the grand jury that he'd taken steroids,
but you asked before you went into the grand jury.
The day of. I'm saying, certainly after you leave the grand jury, is this fair? After you leave the grand jury in December 2003, you've been given steroids by Victor let me just finish it. By December, after the grand jury, December 2003, you've been given steroids by Conti and Hudson. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. And I've seen some news reports where you suggested that you weren't aware you were being given steroids. Is that fair?
Object to the form of the question.
Okay.
Before or after the grand jury?
Have you said at any time, thank you, well, withdrawn. Were you mad at Darrell Hudson after you learned that you had been given steroids?
I wasn't mad at Darrell Hudson because I didn't know that he was aware of it as well, because we were basically working together, so I wasn't mad at him. I was like, well, obviously I don't think that you would do harm to me or try to give me something like that. I don't think that you would intentionally give me anything, so I wasn't really mad at Darrell for that.
Did there become a time where you did become mad at Darrell for that?
No. I think I was more so mad with Darrell because of him actually going with another fighter that I actually fought. I was more mad at that because I didn't believe, at the time I don't believe that he would do something like that.
Right.
That didn't seem like his character.
Well, do you believe that Darrell Hudson intentionally misled you and gave you the clear, the cream, and the EPO? I'm sorry. Let me rephrase it before Mr. Bernstein objects.
Okay.
You're learning.
Mr. Hudson was intimately involved in your meeting Victor Conti, right?
Yes.
And you were relying on Darrell Hudson to make sure you were only given safe things. Is that fair?
That's what I paid him for, yes.
And it was Darrell Hudson's responsibility to make sure that you only got legal vitamins. Is that fair?
Yes.
And it was Darrell Hudson's job to make sure you weren't giving any illegal substances. Is that fair?
Yes.
And all this, I'm referring to a time frame of July, August, September of 2003. Do you understand that?
July 2003, yeah. Before that. You're talking about, you're referring before when he started?
Right.
With me, yes.
I mean, you didn't want to take illegal drugs prior to fighting Oscar De La Hoya in 2003, correct?
I never know, yeah.
And you wanted Darrell Hudson to make sure you didn't, correct?
Yes.
So what actions did you take with respect to Darrell Hudson after you found out you did take steroids?
The action was that I wasn't sure if Darrell knew what he was actually giving to me, because at that time we both put our trust into Mr. Conti.
At that time, right?
At that time we both put our trust into Mr. Conti.
And did there ever come a time where you believed that Darrell Hudson intentionally misled you about steroids prior to the Oscar De La Hoya fight?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think that he would, and still don't really think that he would try to give me steroids.
Okay. Just 1 second. We're going to take a break because they have to change the tape. But just 1 second, I'm sorry. Do you ever remember ever speaking to a reporter by the name of Lance Pugmire?
Lance who?
Pugmire, P-U-G-M-I-R-E. And mark that as Exhibit D, thank you. Do you recall, you don't have to look at that yet, do you recall speaking to Lance Pugmire at all?
I speak to Lance.
You have no specific recollection. How about in September 29th, 2007, or September 28th, thereabouts, 2007, do you remember having any conversations with Lance Pugmire?
I probably didn't. I talked to him probably a couple of weeks ago or something. I don't know.
Okay. So if you look at this article that is attributed, the byline, to Lance Pugmire, and you look at the second sentence.
Second one, okay. Yeah, Lance's.
I'm sorry?
Oh, I said Lance's. Whatever. Go ahead. What are you asking?
So, was it Darrell Hudson who persuaded you? Does this help refresh your recollection? Was it Darrell Hudson who helped persuade you to take EPO?
No.
Sorry?
No, Darrell Hudson didn't persuade me to take EPO.
No?
No.
Did he ever pressure you to take EPO?
He didn't pressure me or persuade me. He just, let's see, Mosley and Darrell Hudson. Hold on, let me finish. Mosley and Darrell Hudson, his national condition coach, while persuading him to take. What Mosley was. Okay. To have 8 patients. Okay.